What is really interesting about this is how caring for another person can completely change the way we grow inside. Imagine a single dad who never planned on raising a child, yet finds himself learning about love and patience one diaper at a time. That's the kind of heartfelt journey we see in Bunny Drop, where Daikichi steps up to take care of Ren, and in doing so, discovers new depths of emotional maturity. It reminds me of the time I stayed up late writing a draft after draft for this exact episode, because I wanted to bring you something genuine and meaningful. By watching today, you'll learn how simple acts of responsibility can open up new ways for thinking and feeling about your own life. If you ever wonder how one small decision can lead to a huge shift in who you are, it's I'm so happy you're here, Zenroku family. Thank you for joining me on this journey of personal growth and community building. We really are in this together. Have you ever felt like you're learning about yourself every time you help someone else? That's exactly how I feel when I think about all the moments I realize the power of just being there for others. So today, I'm excited to welcome you to Momentum Mondays on Zenroku Podcast Network. And by the way, I'm your host, Michael Yearby, a personal development enthusiast and anime junkie. Please show your support by hitting the subscribe, like this video, and sharing it with your friends. Last week, we explored what now and then, here and there, taught us about resilience. We talked about how Shu's determination to protect the people he cared about reveals our own hidden strengths. I'll be honest, the constant struggle, harsh realities in the episode prove that hope can appear in the darkest places if we just keep believing. What we will discuss is the magic of emotional growth. Think about the times you cared for someone else and you felt your own heart change in ways you didn't expect. Then we'll explore how responsibility can create deeper self-awareness. It's that moment when you realize you're more capable than you ever imagined. Lastly, we're diving into how kindness towards others can unlock new emotional breakthroughs, because sometimes the biggest lessons come from when we put someone else's needs first. Now let's step into the heart of Bunny Drop's story and learn how taking care of others can spark powerful emotional changes within ourselves. You won't believe this, but Daikichi first meets little Ren in the most unexpected way, at a funeral where no one else wants to care for her. The moment where he decides to bring her into his home is like stepping into an entirely new world filled with crayons, bedtime stories, and endless questions about life. At first, Daikichi is torn because he never raised a child before. He's worried about the cost, the time, and even if he's capable of being a good role model. Yet Ren, shy but strong in her own quiet way, becomes the spark that pushes him to grow. By opening his door to her, Daikichi also opened his heart to new levels of patience and empathy. I remember how back in Miami, I once felt unsure about taking an extra responsibility in my own home because I didn't know how I could handle it. But just like Daikichi, I found out that embracing responsibility can lead to growth you never imagined. Here's something that blew my mind. The moment that Daikichi tries to balance his job and Ren's school schedule, everything feels upside down. He's used to living by his own rules, crashing on the couch after work and focusing on himself. But now, if Ren misses breakfast or gets sick, it's on him. That's a huge conflict because Daikichi has to switch from me first mindset to her first mindset. Meanwhile, Ren, who's still adjusting to the new home, needs comfort and security she never fully had before. The conclusion is that Daikichi learns how to be present for someone else, waking up earlier, cooking healthier meals, and even giving up some of his personal time. It reminds me when the first time I joined the military and I struggled with morning routines. I thought waking up way before dawn would break me. But like Daikichi, I realized caring for something greater than yourself can actually make you stronger. What's fascinating about this is how Daikichi has to stand up to family members and even co-workers who question his decision to take in Rin. The world around him doubts if this is the right move, and some people think he's gonna fail. But Daikichi, the man who once unsure, becomes the character who fights for Ren's rights to have a stable home. Through all the late nights, teary eyes, and small moments of joy, he concludes that love is worth any risk. When I think back to my own life, there were times I had to defend my choices, especially as a shy teenager in Miami, trying not to get caught up in the wrong crowd. Standing up for what you believe in, even when no one else gets it, can be the bravest thing you can do. All these moments, choosing to care for Rin, juggling new routines, and standing firm for her, set the stage for how responsibility sparks emotional growth. So let's look closer at how Daikichi's choices lead to deeper self-awareness in our next main content section. This might change how you think about the power of caring for someone else. First, we saw how one bold decision can completely shift your world and teach you patience and empathy. Then we explored how balancing new tasks like cooking and helping with homework can push you past your comfort zone, just like waking up early did for me in the military. Finally, we watched how Daikichi stand up for what matters, even when people doubt him, proving that when your heart is set on protecting someone, you find an unexpected strength inside you. Let me paint a picture for you. Daikichi walks Rin to school one morning and he noticed she's the smallest one in the sea of kids bustling through the gates. The classroom walls are filled with colorful drawings and pictures, an environment Daikichi barely paid attention to before because he became a guardian. Now the conflict here is Daikichi feels out of place among the other parents who seem to have everything figured out. He's juggling the new teacher meetings, school paperwork, and the pressure of making sure Rin fits in socially. Rin, on the other hand, is just learning to trust Daikichi, with always being there when she feels lost. The conclusion is that through these school challenges, Daikichi steps up and gains a new level of self-awareness about what it means to be dependable. I'm reminded of when I first arrived at Minot Air Force Base, feeling completely out of my element in a world I didn't recognize, because it was cold as hell, only to recognize that being present and committed can guide you through any unfamiliar territory, but it was still cold as hell. Here's a twist for you that you didn't see coming. Daikichi's company decided to restructure, leaving him either keeping his higher paying position with longer hours or transfer to a role offering more flexibility but less pay. This hits him hard because he already struggles to balance work and childcare. Meanwhile, Rin, who had grown more comfortable in her new life, starts to worry that Daikichi might not have enough time for her. The conflict here is money versus meaningful moments. Can Daikichi afford to lose the salary boost he worked so hard for? Who knows? The character we're rooting for is Daikichi, who despite his worries, ultimately chooses to shift his career goals and path for the sake of being present in Ren's life. The conclusion is that the real payoff isn't monetary, it's the stronger bond that he forms through sharing laughter, midnight stories, and after dinner chats. Reflecting on my own experience, I remember when I was stationed in an unfamiliar place and had to choose between a demanding shift that gave me more knowledge and understanding or a flexible shift that allowed me to support my community events that I was doing. Like Daikichi, I learned that some gains are worth more than a paycheck. Now that we've seen how Daikichi's life decisions revolve around understanding what truly matters, time, presence, and genuine connection, let's step back and explore how the emotional breakthroughs that follow in the next main content section guides us. What's fascinating about this is how Daikichi's involvement at Ren School, along with navigating tough career choices, ends up shaping both of them in a profound way. Whether it's him learning to feel more secure in his roles as a parent, or Ren realizing that she has someone in her corner no matter what. These moments prove that that growth often blooms right when responsibility and sacrifice meets. This is gonna sound wild, but there are scenes in Bunny Drop where Daikichi tries to encourage Rin to pursue a small hobby like drawing, only to find that she's worried about bothering him with her interests. The context here is that Daikichi wants Rin to know her own passions matter, but he also has to juggle work and other commitments. The conflict is that Daikichi isn't sure if he can keep giving Rin enough attention while handling his own day-to-day stress. Yet, Rin senses his hesitancy holds back from fully exploring what she loves. The character at the center here is Daikichi, realizing that you can't just say follow your dreams without actually making the space for them to do so. In the conclusion, he reorganized his schedule, carves out time to be present, and proves to Rin that her creativity is welcome. It reminds me of when I was nearly robbed in middle school. Sounds unrelatable, but that moment taught me that staying calm and acting with intention under sudden pressure is key. Just like Daikichi, I learned that showing consistent care, even when life is intense, can make all the difference in building trust. Let me share something unexpected. As Rin grew more confident, she starts to show a quite independence. She fixed her own snacks, studied without being told, and even started caring for small chores. The context is that Rin's newfound self-reliance actually creates a different challenge for Daikichi. He's proud of her, but he also feels a little bit left out, wondering if Rin still needs him as much. And as a parent myself, I can truly understand the way he talks about this and in the episode and how he feels and goes through these dilemmas, right? It is crazy to be like, man, you want your child to be independent. And then once they start being independent, you feel left out, that you're not a part of their lives anymore. It's crazy how that happens. But it's a good thing that parents have to go through. And it teaches the children that they're not the only ones growing. The character we're closely watching is Daikichi, who realizes emotional growth means learning to step back sometimes so others can stand on their own. In conclusion, Daikichi embraces a new role where he's here to guide rather than control. This reminded me of the first time I saw my niece and nephews in Miami achieve a big milestone without my help. I had to accept that part of caring for others is letting them soar on their own. Basically, that baby bird need to fly. Now that we explore how Daikichi's and Rin navigate creativity, independence, and the feelings that come with letting go, let's tie these lessons together in one final overview. This is where it gets really good and emotional. So try not to cry, guys. Because you watch Daikichi encourage Rin's hobbies, you see how small moments can spark huge emotional shifts. It's like discovering new strengths you never knew you had. As Rin becomes more self-reliant, it highlights the delicate balance between guiding someone and giving them freedom to grow. Together, these points show how stepping forward at the right times and stepping back at others can turn day-to-day responsibilities into life-changing lessons. Let me share something unexpected. Taking responsibility for someone else can unlock your own emotional depth in ways you never imagined. Remember how Daiki opened his heart to Rin by simply deciding to take her home, and that's the decision forced him to grow past his comfort zones and question what matters most. Then his career and school struggles shows us how sacrificing time and finances can lead to deeper self-awareness, knowing you can't put a price on genuine connection. Finally, Daikichi's gentle support of Rin's hobbies, coupled with the bittersweet realization that she could be more independent, demonstrates how true emotional growth also means learning to step back and let others shine. Can you do that? I know it can be hard. So with all the lessons in mind, from understanding how caring for someone else can reshape your life to balancing personal goals with genuine empathy, let's wrap it up with some final thoughts on how you can apply these insights right where you are today. Have you ever felt a rush of joy just from watching someone blossom because of your support? Because that's exactly what we explored throughout in today's episode. It's kind of like reading a heartfelt letter filled with memories and life lessons, one that lifts your spirit and reminds you how small acts of kindness can create big waves in your own life. To bring this episode to you, I spent countless late night hours rewatching key bunny drop scenes and digging deep into my own personal experiences so the message would resonate powerfully. By staying tuned, you gain insights on how responsibility can fuel your own emotional journey. And if you want more content like this, support our channel by clicking on the links in the description below. Click on the links, man. Thank you for being part of our story. Remember to subscribe, like, and share for more uplifting content on the Zenroku Podcast Network. Thanks for tuning in, Zenroku family. Until next time, keep caring for others, embracing new challenges, and let your heart guide the way. Peace.